and welcome to another episode of SCFG Live, Science Club for Girls Live. I'm Hannah with Science Club for Girls, and that was Mr. Music with your theme song. Thanks, Mr. Music. It's always so great to have you to play this beautiful music. We'll see you at the end. And it's so great to see all of you, too. I see Gianna's here and Adis is here. Go ahead and write your name in the comments box so I know who else is here. It was so cool last week that we got to make our drawings float with some really cool chemistry.
It was so cool.
Oh, hi, Namisha.
Sorry, Hannah. I just couldn't wait for today's episode and really wanted to surprise you with an appearance. I also loved how last week we got to save Dr. Marble's fish stick dinner. But before that, do you remember how we even made our drawings float?
That's a great question, Namisha. And it's great to have you here as always. And I do remember what we talked about last week. Last week, we talked about polymers. And we said that in dry erase markers, the polymer is really sticky and, slippery and oily, and it makes the ink not want to stick to surfaces, which is why it's so easy to erase dry erase markers from a whiteboard.
Oh, yeah. And I remember you showed us those paper clips stringed all together. Yep, there it is. To show us that a polymer, or as Dr. Marbles like to say, polymer, is something made of several types of molecules, which are bonded really closely together. And like you said, Hannah, this polymer is in our markers. Unlike the slippery and oily polymer that you just talked about in the dry erase markers, the permanent marker has a sticky polymer, which is why we couldn't erase our drawings that easily, and Dr. Marbles would have been in trouble.
That's a great point. And it's because we have the rubbing alcohol that Dr. Marbles was able to save his fish stick dinner. Rubbing alcohol acted as a solvent, dissolving the ink in the permanent markers and allowing them to come right off the plates.
Wow, chemistry, it just gets cooler and cooler. And Hannah, you really proved that you can draw last week. That's never going to get old.
Such a good joke. Such a good joke. Well, Namisha, today we have another super exciting chemistry episode because just like Bonnie said in her comments, chemistry is so cool and we can never stop learning about it. And even better, we actually have some guest scientists today who are going to help us learn about some fizzy chemistry. So Namisha, what are we going to need for this experiment if we want to follow along at home?
Ooh, a fizzy experiment. I'm super excited. Well, to follow along, you're going to grab 2 beakers. You can grab some plastic cups instead. You need a stir stick, maybe a chopstick or a spoon will work well. Some citric acid, so you can use lemon juice or vinegar, some baking soda, a teaspoon, and half a cup of tap water. And if you want, it's optional, but you can also use some colored dye. Let's also wear our safety glasses just to be safe. You can also wear some sunglasses since those will protect your eyes too.
Awesome. Or if you wear glasses normally, those are perfect for safety goggles. It's always good to be safe. And I also would recommend doing this activity on a surface that you don't mind getting messy. Maybe an aluminum tin or a plastic bin, or just put some newspaper down. Or it's a beautiful day outside. You could do this outside as well. All right, Namisha, are you ready to see what's going to happen?
I'm so ready.
All right, let's see what Azita and Anya have in store.
Hi, my name is Azita McDermott, and I'm here on behalf of EMD Serono, a biopharmaceutical company and Women in Leadership. And we're here for Science Club for Girls today. Growing up, I had a passion for science, and today my 8-year-old daughter Anya carries that same passion. So we're going to be doing an experiment for you, and it's a chemistry experiment. And what are we doing, Anya?
We are going to see what happens when you mix citric acid and sodium bicarbonate. Sodium bicarbonate is basically just baking soda with water.
That's right. And what do you think?
A chemical reaction? How exciting. Well, since Anya is going to make a prediction, how about we make our own too? Hannah, what do you think is going to happen when we mix our baking soda, our sodium bicarbonate, and citric acid, so our lemon juice or vinegar, and water?
Well, Namisha, it seems like we're mixing a lot of different chemicals together. And so I'm thinking maybe a chemical explosion or something crazy like that's going to happen, because kind of reminding me a little bit about this one time when I made a volcano. in Science Club for Girls. And I know that when we mixed baking soda and vinegar together, the volcano kind of started to erupt. So something cool like that might happen.
That's a totally good prediction and a great connection. I think making those volcanoes were super fun. Definitely have to agree with that. Well, let's go ahead and see what Anya thinks and what her prediction is.
Awesome. And at home, if you have any predictions about what's going to happen in this experiment, definitely write it in the chat box so we can see if our predictions were correct or if we learned something new today.
What do you think is going to happen? What's your hypothesis?
I think the sodium bicarbonate in the water will mix together and kind of like flow down the sides like a volcano.
Oh, so you think there will be a chemical reaction? I guess let's see. So let's get started. You're going to need some supplies. So let me show you what the supplies are. So you need 2 beakers, a stir stick, 1 teaspoon for measuring, food dye. It can be any color. Anya, what color do you want to use today?
Blue!
All right, we're going to do blue. Sodium bicarbonate, which Anya said is basically what?
Baking soda.
That's right. Citric acid, and then some cold water.
Tap water.
That's right. You need
Yes.
cold tap water. Correct. Okay, so Anya, how do we do this?
Okay. So, first you need to put on your safety goggles and make sure that your beakers are dry. They are definitely dry. And now we add 1 level teaspoon of
Which one is that?
citric acid.
Okay. So here's your teaspoon. Level. Yeah.
You hold it still.
So level it out. Good job. Okay.
Now
We're gonna add it to a beaker.
Now 1 level teaspoon of sodium bicarbonate.
Okay. Oh, a little bit more. All right. Perfect.
Add it to the exact same beaker.
Okay. Now what do you do?
We stir.
Okay. Now that you've stirred, what's the
Now
next step?
you're going to add
100 milliliters of water. So where's your 100 milliliters?
right there.
Okay.
Stop.
Okay. So that's 100 milliliters. Yep. Okay, now what do you do?
Now we add 1 drop of colored dye. Just need to open it first. Whoop.
It's good enough.
Now we mix.
Okay.
Now it's the
let me
moment
move.
you've been waiting for. Okay, slowly and steadily.
Slow.
Okay.
Okay, stop. Let's see it go. Whoa.
I think it needs a little more. It's building.
When you mix sodium bicarbonate and citric acid, you get a chemical reaction. We hope you had as much fun as we did today doing this experiment. Thank you again, Science Club for Girls, for including Anya and I. Thank you, and bye-bye.
Toodaloo.
Whoa. What just happened? That was super, super cool.
I know, right? It was a chemical reaction. This Friday just got super fizzy because we just saw a super cool explosion. And what's even more cool is that yours, Hannah, yours and Anya's predictions were correct. Mixing all these chemicals together, they made a super big explosion.
It's so amazing. And what's really exciting is that we actually learned a new science term for this explosion. It's called a chemical reaction. Really cool.
Super cool. And these two chemicals, sodium bicarbonate, which was the baking soda, and the citric acid, which was our lemon juice or vinegar, whichever you chose to use, reacted with one another to create something brand new: water, carbon dioxide, and salt. Those bubbles were the carbon dioxide forming. I also liked how Anya put some blue food coloring dye in the water before adding it to the chemical mix so that our explosion was a super cool blue color.
Me too. And be sure to tell us in the chat what you liked about today's experiment. And if you tried it at home, did you use something different? Did you use the lemon juice, or did you go with vinegar, or did you use citric acid? I would love to hear what you did. And be sure to tell us if you used a cool colored dye too. What color was your explosion? We just want to hear about it all.
Definitely, all of it. This has just been a super fun episode, and I just can't get over how cool chemistry is. It's like every time we think of playing safely, of course, with chemicals, it can't get any more fun. But then it does, like a super cool explosion.
I totally agree with you, Namisha. And it's so fun learning and having fun with Anya and Azita. I had so much fun learning about this explosion. And it's amazing how just with a couple of materials, you can really learn so much about chemistry and even make something brand new through that chemical reaction. And I think today's been a fantastic episode. It's been so great having all of our friends here watching. And thank you, Mr. Music, and thank you, Namisha. And I can't wait because next week, we're actually going to be painting with ice.
What?
Yeah.
Chemistry
Yeah.
and art again.
Yeah.
And we get to paint ice. You can count me in.
Oh, I hope so. I'm so excited. And I hope we can count everyone watching in as well as we paint with ice and chemistry and paint and so many other cool things. So we'll definitely see you then. Well, it's been a great episode of SCF. Thank you, everyone. And we'll see you next week. Have a wonderful weekend.
Bye.